This is your spoiler warning for Arachnids in the UK. If you have yet to see the episode, please click off now. If you are still with me, then let's get right on with the review. So, Arachnids in the UK was easily the hardest episode for me to make up my mind on. Normally, it has been taking me 2 viewings with Series 11 to make up my mind on any given episode about how I feel, but this one actually took me 3. So on the first watch, it was really entertaining, and it was honestly on par for second favorite in Series 11 episodes so far. And on the second viewing, I began to see more of the flaws that didn't really bother me on initial viewing, and the things I started to like even less. And after my third viewing, I feel that I have a really solid idea for how I feel about this one. So Arachnids in the UK is a fairly entertaining, if mostly uneventful episode of Doctor Who. In terms of the main story, we've basically just got big spiders around Sheffield, and this gets dragged into a 50-minute episode. And I'll admit, I was engaged by the mystery on initial viewing, and even found the spiders pretty creepy, but on rewatches, they've lost almost all of their creepiness, and the story around them has become even less entertaining. And the weird thing about this one is that it's a mix of things that I like and things that I don't, and I'll probably get my biggest complaint out of the way quickly, and that has to be the far too politically on the nose character of Robertson. I'm pretty sure that's his name, but I'm not honestly sure. He served no real point in this story, and he only served to agitate me as an audience member, and he kept stopping the story dead to say the stupidest possible things imaginable. And he said that spiders couldn't have caused the giant webs because spiders don't do that, but he literally just saw a giant spider smash through a bathtub, and that certainly was not normal behavior in itself. So the only thing that he served at all in the story was contributing to the rather silly and simple explanation of mutated spiders, which didn't bother me, by the way, that much, but there were plenty of other ways that could have been done without including this annoying character. And even if his goal was to annoy the audience, then why? What point did that serve? And the political commentary, which I guess they tried to offer with this story, it served no place in it. And yeah, he was really easily the most frustrating character for me. Very annoying, completely idiotic, and ultimately pointless. But enough about the main negative of the episode. Now allow me to move on to some things that are on the other end of the spectrum, because as I said, this one is really a mix of things that work for me and things that don't work for me. So I did really enjoy our main cast in this episode. Sadly, yeah, this is probably the one I still enjoyed the least, but I do like that we learned a bit more about her, and I feel as though I know her a bit better. She's entertaining enough, just not my favorite, and I did enjoy seeing her family, although I don't want to keep going back to them because that could easily get irritating. Ryan honestly doesn't get a ton to do in this episode, although I do enjoy the scenes between him and Graham, and seeing the two of these characters bond over the death of Grace, it's just really well done. I'm also really enjoying Jodie as the Doctor. She still managed to keep this part entertaining and fun, and be a strong lead, although, as she says one too many times in this series, she is still finding herself, and I am here with her as she does so. Hands down, my favorite of the bunch has to be Graham. He is so wonderfully able to balance this kind of subtle comedy and humor, and these very real dramatic scenes, and I think that he handles those perfectly, and I find myself being glad that Grace died, as it is resulting in some downright lovely scenes with Graham, mainly the ones I mentioned earlier with him and Ryan, and also Grace showing up was handled rather tastefully. That's a really common thing in TV, and ultimately it worked fine and added enough in terms of showing how he is unable to be in that house without seeing Grace, so it worked well enough. And I should mention that the spider effects looked relatively solid. I actually watched this episode on 3 different screens, and the one where I could get the most clear look at them was sadly the one where they looked the worst. The CGI does work effectively, and while on occasion it is a little bit dodgy, it's overall solid enough and pretty good, so yeah, that definitely worked for me. And the explanation for why there are big spiders in Sheffield was simple and kind of stupid, but it also kind of worked for me, and I just would have preferred that they had an explanation that didn't involve the stereotypical jerk of Robertson, but it was fine enough. So that was the only really part of it that bothered me, but yeah, it was a simple explanation. Although I thought this episode wrapped up rather quickly, and the solution wasn't really a great solution. I mean, they know that they have been spider sightings all around Sheffield, right? And they aren't all in the safe room, and also that's not a very nice way to die. I don't know, it just felt like a weak conclusion to me. Also, I was really expecting a moment from Jodie similar to that of David's at the end of the Christmas Invasion, which we never got. like anything like that, and I don't know, it just felt odd that the Doctor didn't tell off the character of Robertson at all, and the episode just kinda ended, and yeah, that frankly baffled me a little bit. Some more things I enjoyed were the new time vortex. I thought that looked gorgeous and was a really cool moment, and the scene when the Doctor is about to leave and then she instantly accepts Yaz's invitation to tea as an excuse to stay, that was really good. I really like the final scene where they all come to the Doctor and tell her that they want to stay, and that was really nice and a really cool reverse on how the Doctor usually invites the companions to travel with her. And Ryan and Yaz have the simplest explanations, although they are understandable reasons. Graham feels like he has the most developed and sound reason for going with this Team TARDIS. And also, I like how she warns them that it is going to be dangerous, and that was a good bit to include, and I hope that we do find that it is very dangerous for them, although I am liking these characters. Also, as always, the episode looked pretty great visually. They had some solid production all around, and the music continues to be really good and really fit the vision of the show. Overall, this episode was quite the mix, even though it had some scenes that I found thoroughly entertaining and some very down-to-earth, likable, and charismatic characters. It was also bogged down with scenes that I couldn't wait to end and characters that I desperately wanted to get off screen. The story was pretty simple and there weren't exactly any complicated new characters, but it still managed to be entertaining and have some moments that I really loved. As an episode, it doesn't hold up completely, but has enough going for it that I still enjoy it, and this one is a good amount of fun. So I'm going to give Arachnids in the UK a rating of 7.75 out of 10. I have to apologize for this incredibly late review, but I'm currently playing a massive catch-up game with a bunch of other stuff going on right now. It's kind of crazy, so this will have to be how it is for now, and I should have a review for the Serena Conundrum out, hopefully in the next week or so, and I hope that you join me for that. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care, and have a lovely week.